Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a chilly morning here in Santa Clarita, where for the last 2 weeks I have been riding the Ducati Multistrada V4S. And to break down that name, it tells you what it is and what it does. Multistrada in Italian basically means many roads, and the Multistrada V4S has the V4 Granturismo engine in an S Sport specification, meaning it's a little more tailored towards the road than the dirt. The V4S is $24,000, making it one of the most expensive motorcycles that I've personally ever ridden, but boy does it come with a lot of stuff. I have 2 full pages of handwritten notes. Here's the biggins. The biggins is you get a 170 horsepower V4 engine with 92 pound-feet of torque, power by gear, and a 10,500 RPM redline with peak torque at 8750. That's an 1158 cc engine. It has a counter-rotating crankshaft, which helps you get more stability off the throttle. It has a short first gear for off-roading, a long 6th gear for highway cruising, and this bike is really designed for the rider to put lots and lots and lots and lots of miles on. Whether that means you're commuting on a 20 or 30 mile highway commute, whether that means you're going on 1,000-mile road trips, whether that means you're going on dirt, or whether that means you're riding around the city, there is a mode for it on the Multistrada. This thing has crazy electronics. I think this is the most electronically controlled motorcycle I've ever ridden. It has, ready? Cornering ABS, a full 6-inch TFT touchscreen that controls everything in the bike and can mirror your phone. It has Ducati wheelie control, Ducati traction control, Ducati cornering lights, 4 different riding modes, adjustable suspension, and by adjustable I mean both the leveling, the load, and the shock stiffness. That's the DSS, the Ducati Skyhook suspension. It has adaptive radar cruise control, front and rear. It has vehicle hill hold control. That's hill hold assist. And, oh my God, it has cylinder deactivation at idle. And that is not for fuel economy. That is so your balls don't get too hot at red lights. It reduces the heat at idle, which is amazing. It has keyless go. And I mean, it's got just so much stuff. 19 and 17-inch Pirelli tires. These are the more road-focused Pirelli Scorpion Scorpion Trail tires. Right, got it. And the rest of it we can talk about on the road. It's basically designed to do a little of everything. A little urban, a little enduro, a little touring, and a little sport. And it has pre-programmed modes in order to optimize those different settings. So let's fire it up. Keys in my pocket. Power it on. It's got a nice sound. It sounds like a V-twin, but a little more, I don't know, technical. And we are going to start in mode touring. I can adjust my modes here on the left stalk. I've also got a joystick that controls all the sub-functions there. So I'm going to put my heated seat on high because it is cold up here today. And, yeah. Automatic leveling. We'll start in tour mode, and then I'll show you sport on the way back up. Urban and enduro modes reduce power output to 117 horsepower. This tour mode and the sport mode have the full 170 horsepower. So, here we go. Nice smooth throttle, no lift shift, and I know a lot of bikes have no lift shift, but this has no lift up and no lift down, which is really fabulous because it has pretty much the smoothest rev matching I've ever used on a bike. So you can really shift it right in, look at this, right there, right in the middle of a corner, no clutch. Touring mode sets your suspension for maximum comfort. It makes it nice and comfy, so if you're going big distances, you're going to be real nice there. Enduro sets it up for off-roading, and Urban sets you up for bumps in the city, but with maximum control. Multistrada is about 225 kilograms dry, so you're looking at, a 500-pound bike with fluid in it. It is heavy, but it's agile. It's got the weight packaged in a great way. So it's not a super bike when you're mobbing, but it definitely gets its way through a canyon. I really like the no lift shifting. I mean, that's going to be something that it's hard to go back to a regular bike after that, Big brakes. I'm sorry I don't know the exact size, but they are more than sufficient for hauling this thing down. And man, the real game changer is the no lift, super smooth downshifting, clutchless. That is money. This one has the optional Akrapovic titanium exhaust. Standard on the V4S Sport, but optional on regular V4S. I'm not a super speed demon on motorcycles. I think you guys know that. I'm an enthusiast. I like to cruise, I like to tour, and I like to ride in the city. And although this bike is a little big for traffic avoidance lane splitting, you can, it's just not the ideal solution. If I had a 30-40 mile highway commute every day, this would be the ultimate bike. I mean, I really like putting miles on it. It's so comfortable. It's so easy to live with and use. It's really well balanced. Right now, as we're going downhill, I'm really even in the bottom and the middle half of the power band. I'm not even really in the top half of the power band. It's got such a great wide spread of torque that you could almost be in, any gear at any time. It gets a little luggy below, 4,000. That's really kind of where it gets a little thumpy, and it smooths out over 4, so that's kind of where I like to keep it as a baseline at like 4,000. But it goes through the gears smoother than any other bike I've ever been on, ever. It's incredibly comfortable. The riding position is just great. You've got this big front fairing, but it gets pretty narrow in the back. And I haven't ridden it off-road because I am a pansy. But if you did ride it off-road, I imagine you'd find that it does the things it's advertised to do. I'm guessing. I don't really know. It's just so good on-road. And even if I go down to first there, and I'm going to turn around. Even if I go down to first there, I can do that without the clutch and not end up in neutral. So let's go into mode. We'll go up into sport. Sport sets up. You have to close the throttle. There you go. Sport sets the throttle response in maximum. It loosens. Oh boy, it's sunny. It loosens some of the traction control restrictions. Sharpens the throttle response. Firms up the suspension. I mean, it does everything. We're up here today making 2 videos, this and the BMW X6M, and this is almost like the X6M of motorcycles. I mean, I know it's Italian, but it has so many features and settings and modes. It makes you wonder if the riding experience is compromised, but I really think it's not. I think all these settings are here in order to simply extend the use possibilities of this bike. Just gives you more opportunities to ride it. So in sport mode, it's definitely firmer. It's not as floaty. It's tighter, and the throttle response is a lot sharper. To be honest, it's a little too sharp for my not aggressive riding style. And so it's kind of like the situation where it wants to be either accelerating or decelerating. It doesn't really like the feather in sport mode, whereas in tour mode, it dumbs the throttle response down just enough This is about as aggressive as I get. With the cornering ABS, what that means is it actually takes into account the lean angle of the bike when engaging the ABS. Fortunately, I am not riding hard enough to engage the ABS no matter what. I don't think I want to today. I really like the flexibility though. That's what it's really about. Like up here, it's the one thing it's really optimized for is just doing a lot of miles. I mean, a 1,000-mile road trip, a 2,000-mile road trip on one of these would be so epic, and it would really be able to handle, you know, anything you threw at it. Oh, I should have worn my sunglasses. That is bright. Anything you threw at it. The handling is great. The power is great. For something that's this heavy, the agility is great. And look, right here, I'm going to downshift right there at the middle of the corner. No clutch. That's cool. I really like riding this thing. It's so much fun. It's easy to maneuver. It masks the weight a little bit, I think. The adjustable height windshield there, it allows me to, on the fly, make the wind go around me. No tools. Very, very good stuff. And I think this is the kind of bike that could grow with you. You know, this bike is mellow enough that me, not aggressive rider, can come out and have a good time and do a lot of miles. But if you're a more aggressive rider, I think this bike would happily tailor itself to your riding style without having to make many changes at all. And you can customize each individual setting. You know, you can set that individual mode. Fortunately for me, I don't really know enough about settings on this thing, so I just pick the factory modes, and that works out well. But, you know, the question is, do all the technologies and features take away from the purity of the riding experience? I mean, a little bit, but this isn't a supermoto. You know, this is a bike that you need to be able to live with. Oh, there's some road work here. It's a bike you need to be able to live with. It's a bike you need to be able to commute with. It's a bike you need to be able to do lots of miles in. And let's go back up. I don't know what these guys are doing. Maybe just getting the dust down. And so if I go into mode, let's go into urban. So urban, close the throttle. Urban drops my power down a little bit, down to about 115, dumbs down the throttle a bit, softens the suspension, but not as much as Tour, because you still need to maneuver between cars and stuff like that. But I like urban because it allows you to be a little more liberal with the throttle, not have to be quite as precise, and still really gets the job done nicely, giving you just a little more room for error, you know? So, fundamentally, this is an amazing bike. It's a really, really cool bit of hardware. I think it would fit really well in anyone's collection. The obvious competition is the BMW GS, the GS 1200. You know, that's going to be a bike that's, I think, even a little more off-road focused than this. Also very comfortable, not quite as sporty. That parallel twin that you get in the BMW, or I'm sorry, boxer twin you get in the BMW, is a fabulous engine, but it's not. This is the same V4 fundamentally as they put in the superbikes. So this is a sort of, it's almost like having a Ferrari safari car or something like that, where it works well in the city, it works good on the road trip. You got that exotic power plant, you got the Italian feel, the Italian name, but it's still a highly versatile tool. And so thank you to, and right here I popped it open. This is your phone pocket, and you can USB that in there. So thank you to Ducati for letting me have a go for 2 weeks. This bike is really cool. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.